My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I'm reviewing from the house of Parfums de Marly, Layton. I've reviewed Layton exclusive and we don't know what's happened to this video. Parfum Fairies came and got rid of it. For 75 mils, it's 190 euros. I presume it's the same. For 125 mil, it's 250 euros. And if you love it, £350 for 200 mil. Layton is a fragrance, I'm going to read it. Layton is a fragrance that captures the essence of the debonair. I haven't had that word for years. The seductive oriental and floral fragrance. The reason why I like that is because there was somebody on my site saying that oriental is a really offensive term. And a while ago I said, is it offensive? Because I was unsure. And I kind of think, you know, oriental fragrances to me, I was thinking this the other day, oriental fragrances are my favorite type of perfumery. And I think oriental fragrances mean raw materials from sort of like, you know, oud, patchouli, all those sort of, you know, spicy. They're my most favorite. And actually when I say the word an oriental fragrance, I say it in reverence. I say it because I love that sort of style of perfumery. I said this before, but there was this thing online saying that they're now calling it amber fragrances, which doesn't really fit all classifications of this type. Floral ambers, orientals are not always ambers. It doesn't really fit it, whereas oriental fits. Huge classification, my most favorite type. And you know, there is cancel culture which tries to cancel every type of offensive word and every type of everything. You know, if it doesn't fit, we have, unfortunately nowadays, and kind of like, I think you need to man up if you get offended by a word. We need to get busy. That's what I think. Anyway, with intent of factory signature, opens with bergamot and its tangy passion. I don't think of bergamot as tangy. Whilst lavender and geranium blend into fresh rose, chic, and I can't read the word at once. The intensity of the eau de parfum is further amplified by amber, enhanced by natural elegance of pink pepper, distinguished and addictive. Layton's character is further carried by vanilla and precious woods, which develop through an intriguing note of caramelized coffee. The notes are apple, bergamot, lavender. Hot notes are jasmine, violet, geranium. Base scents of vanilla, pepper, gaiac wood, and patchouli. Do we have our teeny tiny bottles of Layton? I got this in the box instantly. Are we engaged with the higher self? Let's get testing. So this is what I got it in. I think this is a great testing kit. So you call that, take that out. So I'm going to say the elephant in the room, which is that I know I tested this on Chris's channel and apparently I can't even remember that long ago and I didn't like it. I think, as I mentioned before, fragrances which are quite natural based and quite complex, you need to test them on the skin. Some fragrances just don't do justice off the strip. I can't remember that. That seemed like a different lifetime ago. So I don't know. That's the comment. People said you like this when you went on Chris's channel and you gave it this and then on here this and whatever. And also you can change, you know, that was like 3 years ago. You know, it's kind of like coming up to 4 years ago. It's a very, very long time ago. And I think you're entitled to change as your brain changes and you appreciate things more. And also when I was on Chris's channel, I'd worked for years just working with my raw materials. I didn't really know what was out there at all. Now, because of this job, I understand how many millions of fragrances there are on all these different ranges, which I find very exciting and which is helping me develop as a perfumer, you know, understanding all these different ranges and there's a way different companies do it. You know, before then I didn't know really anything out there at all. I never went shopping for fragrance. I was only interested in what was in my lab, my raw materials. I'm more excited even to this day of raw materials. I don't get excited over packaging. I don't really get excited over new fragrances. I love making fragrance and I love creativity and all of that sort of stuff. And I didn't do this. If I didn't do this job, I think I'd do clothes design. I'd do something where I'm designing or something where you're combining science and technology to be creative or artwork. I love to draw, love to cook, all that sort of stuff. So I would have done something with that, you know. So I take that mindset into perfumery. I understand you out there, you love the fragrances, it's your passion, you know, for fragrance collections. It's never been like that for me, but I love raw materials, I love aroma chemicals, love science, constructing, all of that stuff. I want to say that. So this is light, airy, based on ISO Super. Parfums de Marly always have a clean core to it. There's always something clean about it. I can't remember whether they've done something really like filthy. But in their sort of range, which I love, it's always, this is where I think they excel, this sort of clean, sort of sweetness, light and airy to it. So this is Ice Super and Galaxolide based, which is giving you that cleanness to it. And I think if you're working with perfume raw materials and trying to develop your own perfume, what I would suggest if you want to know what musks do, because musks are something which are really, you need to really train your nose to smell them. And some of them you can't even smell because our human brain is not like dog brains. They're much more so sensitive. And some things like Galaxolide, ethylene bracelet, those sort of things can be to people who haven't got a trained nose. You just don't smell of anything. If you want to develop your brain, it is to get musks and to apply it in something. So you'd have your formula, your base formula, and then you would apply the same amount of that musk in it to start off with, and then combine them and see what they do. See what they do to flatten the formula, see what they do to make. What does it feel like? And generally, the musks that you'll be aware of, the things you'll be able to smell straight off and smell the difference are Galaxolide, either 100% or 50%, ethylene bracelet, and Handblide. Muscone as well, that's quite a tricky one, and Bretellide as well. You'll be able to smell the difference in the formula. And that's what I would suggest that you do, start off with the same amount. Those 4 musks, and you'll be able to smell the difference. And Galaxolide gives you, it's using fabric conditioner, and it gives you a real clean sort of finish with it. If you want to increase the clean finish, Tetralade gives it a soapy finish, and Bretellide and musk and that sort of stuff. And then you would start to develop musk accords, the different percentages and things. So things like Galaxolide and Tetralade gives you clean, masculine, soapy, shaving foam sort of finish to it. And they can be great within a formula. And this is sort of what you're detecting within this. This formula is dealing with that winning combination of vanillin, coumarin against wood notes. Very palatable, very easy to wear. I found with vanillin and coumarin, ethyl vanillin, heliotropin are just delicious. And when you mix it with C18, C14, and sometimes ethyl malta whipping to the base, sometimes not, it's just delicious. And that combination does something in people's brains, and it's got an addictive quality to it. That's sort of what's happening within this. Alkyl acetates within this other aroma chemicals to make it smell quite masculine. This is a masculine, clean, sweet, woody formula. Radiant on my skin, Parfums de Marly always have that clean radiance to it. So there's a clean radiance, smells sort of timeless and classic. Onto my final thoughts. I love this. I think it's really nice. On a test strip, I don't think it does it justice at all, actually. I would never suggest that anybody tries things on a test strip because everyone's skin is really different. You know, we have different sort of acidities to the skin. Some people moisturize their skin. Some people have oily skin. Different sort of skin types do different things with fragrances. That's why citruses never work on my skin, ever. And heavy wood-based fragrances work on my skin. Genetically, I have sort of 50% of my genetics, 51.3% of my genetics is Middle Eastern. So I have dark, thick skin that works more with ouds, vanilla, rose, that sort of stuff. And citruses just really don't work at all. So I test my citruses on other people who've got softer sort of skin. I think tattoos don't help either. But this is radiant and clean off my skin, and there's a clean apple radiance to it. Enough aroma chemicals to give you sort of cleanness, limonal, cashmere, and enough naturals to give it a sort of natural feel. And this is why I think this brand is really great, because it's giving you 30% naturals to 70% aroma chemicals. I love it. I think I love the Layton exclusive. I'm sure I did. I can't remember. But this I really love as well. I think it's really great. I love the clean radiance. It sort of smells signature worthy. Beautiful sort of radiance to it. I don't know if it's changed. Apparently they changed the concentration of concentrate to alcohol. I think it came down slightly, and I don't know why. Somebody left a comment. I read the comments occasionally, which sort of said that they contacted the company and it was a change in the calculations. Something like that it was, but the formula hadn't changed and the concentration hadn't changed, but the maths had changed. I don't know what to think about that. What do you think about that? Cheeseman drama of the Frecon. Anyway. I love it. I think the price is really super fantastic. I think you get the bottles really nice. The packaging is really nice. I think it's really great perfumery. I think this house is excelente. The way I think about it is it sort of smells a little bit designer, but done in a niche way. So you're getting really lovely raw materials. And the difference between, I'll explain really quickly, designer, niche, and designer is generally niche or independent companies can use smaller batches I don't know about this. I think these would be ton sizes made up or something like that. But generally smaller companies make up smaller batch sizes, more sort of like attention to detail, more expensive raw materials constructed in a way that's more expensive as a finished product because of that. Designer are generally using, it's built for profit more instead of built for art. That's how I think about it. I can speak for myself that when I go into a project, I don't really think about the cost. I just try and create the best that I can, try and better myself from the day before. That is my mindset, doing everything at a 10, which is a little bit exhausting. I think designer brands have to make a profit because they've got thousands of people working for them. So I think generally they're sort of constructed differently. The raw materials are sort of not going to be fractions of this and exciting of that and all the rest of it. I think it's going to be standard essential oils, to be honest. So that's what I think. So anyway, I'm going to mark this a 9 out of 10. I think it's great. Not super projecting, but I think it's a really beautiful formula. So love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands, lots of fragrance reviews. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.